Well, good morning. Welcome, Life in the Higham house. It is morning. It's like 8 o'clock. We've been up for quite a while already. Ducks and chickens are already let out. Amy and I have already gone for our morning walk, and thought we'd grab the camera real quick. I was going to take the camera with me on the walk, but we left in such a hurry, forgot to grab it. But gorgeous day. Let me just show you what we got here going on. Look, the sun is up. The skies are blue. Very few clouds are in the sky, which is nice because the last couple of days it's been rainy and gray. And I don't know how much you're aware of the fires in Canada, but early last week we were still getting some of the smoke residual from those fires in our area, which is crazy to think that it traveled that far. But it did. But here's what I want to do. We have a short window of time this morning before I gotta get to doing some work type stuff. And it's been a while since we've updated you on some of the garden and the animal stuff. So I thought we'd give a quick update and just let you know what's happening real fast. So let's get started with the garden behind me. Alright, so we had this spot behind the house. You guys have seen me working in it. We tilled it, we got the plants in it. It's in the shade now, but within maybe an hour or so, it'll have mostly direct sunlight all day long. And I found that this has been a great place for us to do our tomatoes. And we got them in, and they were slow in getting the start. But over the last couple of weeks, they've just started really growing crazy. We've lost a few, and so I've changed a few out. But we had such a cold and mild May. Like, I feel like all of my stuff is, even though I had it in the ground after Mother's Day, I feel like it was so cold and kind of not so nice out that it took a longer time for things to get started. But let me just give you a quick update here of what we're growing. Alright, so if you remember, we started out with Roma plants all across the front here. And then we threw in some Livingstons, and we threw in some cherries, and we threw in some yellow boys. And we did lose a couple. I think we lost this one here of the Romas, and since I have replaced it with I believe that's going to end up being Livingston, if I remember correctly. But yeah, look how good everything looks. I've been doing my sucker pruning, getting in here, pulling off little pieces like that little guy there that's growing up in the middle. Now I've decided this year I'm not going to sucker clip all of them. I'm going to leave some of the plants with their suckers on. I've been watching some other gardeners, and some are like, leave them on. They will produce fruit as well, and it'll double the yield for your plant. And I've heard others say they just are a suck of energy, so snip them off, let the plant grow from the main stem up. So I'm going to mix them this year. Some I'm going to leave, and some I'm going to snip and see what's better, to let it grow or to let it, or to come back and snip them. So, but tomato plants are all really doing really well. I think I need to get in and thin some of them out. See, now here's the thing, look. Those are already some flowers there that are going to be tomatoes, but this plant's way too small. So I'm going to go ahead and clip these off. Look, there's a sucker. Alright, I'm going to pull all of these off. Here's another sucker. Alright, because I don't want the plants going to fruit just yet. I want them to be a little bit bigger, and I want them to stay in this little ring here. As it grows, it'll give it a little bit more strength, a little more stability, but it's pretty amazing there. Love it. There's another one here, another sucker. That looks good. Now, in with the tomatoes, I'm mixing in a few other things. Had a hard time getting some of my other seeds started this year, but one of the things that did take really late was some broccoli. I planted 6 broccoli plants, and I think 4 of them took, and out of that I've got 3 of them that are actually growing. So here in between the tomatoes, this is my broccoli right there, and I gotta do some weeding, but I'll do that later. And then we got another broccoli plant here, and it looks like we got something getting to the broccoli, so we'll have to take care of that. But we've had success growing broccoli before, so I'm kind of hoping we have success with broccoli again. So tomato patch, doing really, really well. Happy, excited about it, and we'll see how everything goes. Hopefully by end of July we have tall plants that are producing fruit, and then in August we'll get a ton of tomatoes. Let's go to the next bed. All right, so the next bed is on the side of the house, and what we've done here is we have planted our black raspberries, and I think they're like sunshine or golden sun. They're like a yellow raspberry, and so we planted them 3 years ago. The first year they didn't really do a whole lot. Last year they grew, produced 1 or 2 berries, and that was it. This year they've come back and they're doing pretty good. So this is our blackberry bush. I don't want it all over the place, so I am trying to like train it up a little bit. And then over here, this I believe is our yellow berries or golden sun, whatever they're called. But same thing, trying to grow this up on the trellis or the lattice, give it a little bit of shape. Otherwise we're going to have branches everywhere. So I'm probably even going to come in and trim some of the ones on the bottom just so that we get a good strong bush there. Now in with these we have planted butternut squash and zucchini, and last year we did butternut squash and zucchini here and it did awesome, and so I wanted to do the same thing again at least one more year. And so over here we have our first plant, butternut squash, and this is really taken off, and I've thought about trying to vine this out so that it grows up instead of wide, but looks like we need to come in here and do some trimming. We've got a lot of little flower pods coming up, so we'll have to watch those and see what happens with those guys. But that was doing really, really well. We had 2 more planted in here. They didn't take, but then we had our zucchini. And so you can see our 2 zucchini plants here and here. Both are doing well. And again, we've got some shoots coming up right there. So that's fun. And we're going to see what comes up. We did try to plant some sunflowers in here because this is another great spot for sunflowers. They get full sun almost all day long. But just they didn't take this year. We had one season where we had really good, strong mammoth sunflowers. I mean, they were like 7 feet tall and absolutely huge. We haven't had that since. The other thing we tried to plant in here, we want to do some pollination. We want to do some fresh cut flowers. And so in here we sprinkled seeds. Well, Amy sprinkled seeds to try to get some flowers to come on up so we get some cross pollination. However, we're not really sure what this is. This is either going to be the flowers that she planted or it's a bunch of weeds. So we're giving them time to kind of grow, and then we're going to see what they are. And I just saw this in the black raspberry plant. Check that out. Got our first little berry. That's kind of cool. Alright, let's go to bed number 3. Okay, so bed number 3 is our cucumber and pickle bed, which has not done well at all this year. We have done the pickles and the cucumbers here behind the shed the last 2 seasons, and we have had incredible success. This year, man, it has not gone well. We have planted this twice. The first time we planted it, we went away for the weekend, and someone was supposed to water for us, and they didn't, and so we lost all of our plants. They absolutely wilted, and it was a mess. So we restarted another batch from seed, planted them. They were doing really, really, really well, but we made the mistake of letting our ducks out, and I did not expect our ducks to go after the cucumber plants, but they absolutely annihilated them, leaving me with nothing. I mean, almost nothing. I've got 2 pickle plants that survived and are finally actually doing pretty well. So we got 1 pickle plant here, we got the other pickle plant there, and I think I'm just gonna let these guys kind of do their thing down here. I do want to plant a few more, which means we'll get late cucumbers, but this is such a great place for the cucumbers. I wanna get them going here, so I'll probably do another batch of seeds this week, and then they'll be ready to plant here in a week or 2. So, but other than that, it's just a mess. So I gotta come in and get all this weeded out again, because after the ducks destroyed it, I just let it go. And then the chickens got into it, and they were getting their dust baths, and it was just a mess. So that's bed 3. Let's go to bed 4. So if you've been watching the vlog, you know that we took our old chicken run and we turned it into another planting bed. And so behind me here is the old run. where we used to keep the chickens. The coop sat there, over there. The run was here. They could run around, whatever. But intentionally did that because I wanted them to break up the soil down here and get it ready for another garden, because I always kind of saw the lower area here as a great place to do things like pumpkins and watermelon, because we have room here. They can vine and spread out, and so that's what we did. And so we planted down here in this patch our pumpkins, and I'm super excited because they seem to be doing really, really, really well. So check this out. We planted 2 pumpkins here. So the first one is this one. The second one we lost. But this one is supposed to be those little mini harvest pumpkins, the ones that are all different colors, different shapes. So excited about that. That plant looks really, really good. And then we've got pumpkins here, and then 1, 2, and 3 there. Now these are jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, and so they should get pretty big. And these are like a white pumpkin and then a multicolored pumpkin here. And so really happy with them, although it looks like something's getting to those plants' leaves as well. So we'll have to take care of that. But these are looking really good. They're starting to shoot out and have other root pieces that they're going to kind of reroot and grow, and that's fantastic. The other thing I put in here is 2 more cucumber plants. I had cucumber plants left over, put one there, and I put one there, and they seem to be doing really, really well. This one's really beginning to vine over here, so excited about that. So with the pickle plants up top, and then these cucumbers here, I at least have 2 pickle plants, 2 cucumber plants, and that'll get us started until I get the other ones rolling. So that's, gotta take you to the front of the house and show you the other stuff that still needs to come back here. So let's go and talk about that. All right, the last place that we've got vegetables growing currently is out front. We've got a couple buckets going, and some things that we still need to get into the ground, which I know is really pathetic because we're getting late in the season. We're in July here. It's July 5th. All of this stuff should be in the ground or in buckets. But we've got tomatoes and peppers and watermelon out front. And so let me just run you through these real quick. So these are our tomato plants, and these are doing great. And honestly, I can't even tell you which ones they are at this point because I forget what I've planted in these buckets here. Now with the tomatoes, I also have peppers, which are doing awful. Something is definitely getting to these. And I actually chased away a bunny this morning. I don't think those are bunnies, those are insect bites there, right there. But they were doing really, really well, but now they're kind of stagnant and not really doing anything, while these 2 are doing very well. Boom and boom. Now I picked up these cloth buckets a couple years ago, and I've used them. This is the second time I'm using them, and I've noticed that they just don't do the same. Now I planted 2 in each one because at the time I needed a place to put them with the plan of spreading them and putting them somewhere else, but they're just not doing well here. But in my pots, this seems to be doing pretty well. That's doing pretty well. It's still small, but we picked up from Walmart these pepper plants here that were in one planter. There were 5 of them, all squeezed together in one planter, and they had clearance on them, so they were $5 for the whole thing. And so they're actually doing pretty well. However, the peppers aren't getting very big, and if you can see, they're falling off. This one just fell off this morning. I didn't do anything. It just fell off. But I'm curious to see how big they get and if they're going to be full-size bell peppers or not. They're supposed to be yellow. I know that much, according to the little tag that was on Walmart. And then I just have my stragglers. Peppers, more tomatoes, things that we started from seed, just haven't gotten in the ground yet. That's watermelon. That needs to go in the ground. And then we've got some other squashes and things here, and I got to get those in the ground. So, still have a lot of work to do for the garden, but what is in the ground is doing well, and that I'm excited about, because for a while it was so cold in May, I was really worrying about what was going to take and what was going to grow, because things just stayed small for so long, and it was cold for, really the latter part of May, early part of June, when you need to get your seedlings in the ground and you need to get them rooted and growing. Here it just was a yucky season. So whatever. That's part of the joys of gardening, contending with weather and working with what you have. And I'm stoked with how our vegetables are going. A little later in the season, but that just means we will have vegetables late July through August. If the weather holds, we will be getting tomatoes in September. Last year, I think I picked our last tomatoes in October simply because I was tired of going out to the garden and taking care of it. And I wanted to be done and move on to the fall stuff. And so that's what I'm kind of hoping this year, is that we get fruit and vegetables at least through September. And I think that's a real possibility. So, okay, friends, so our ducks. So you remember we had the tragedy where we lost a bunch of ducks. Well, we lost our 4 laying ducks, 2 hens, 2 drakes. But we were able to get some eggs from them. We incubated them, and we were able to hatch 13 ducklings. We sold 2 of them to some neighbors, and we've since have the remaining 11 ducks. And so here we are, all 11 of them. I think I've counted so that I've got 5 drakes and 6 hens, or is it 6 hens and 5 drakes? Something along those lines. But our plan is to keep 6 of them, 4 hens and 2 drakes. That'll give us more laying hens again. But I got to get rid of the other 5. So they are almost ready to start laying. They are absolutely beautiful. They're pretty much ruined. I thought they might be like a ruin khaki mix, and I think maybe some of them are, because the colors are a little weird. Beautiful, but different. But they're coming in really nicely. My drakes are getting their adult feathers now. They're getting their colors. They're really starting to look pretty. And I do wonder what they're going to look like, because I do think there's khaki mixed in with the ruin. So I want to see what happens when all that comes. But I've got 5 of them that we need to pass on to somebody else. So if you're local to where we are and you need some ducks or would like some laying ducks, the ruins for me have produced great quality eggs. We like them. We use them in our baking. We've got some people who buy them from us because they like them. Duck eggs are super healthy. I love having the ducks because they give us good stuff. Plus they're fun to watch. The ducks are just fun to watch. All right, coming up here. Say hello to the girls. Hey, girls. There they are. So we have our original 7 chickens, and then we added 8 more to the flock, with the goal being 15, so that we can average about a dozen eggs a week, or a dozen eggs a day. So what my goal is. And they all seem to be doing really, really well. We merged the 2 a little while ago, and there's a little hen pecking going on, but for the most part they're settling in, getting along. The chicks are quite large. I mean, they're not quite the size of the adult birds, but they're pretty close. But they're doing really, really well. And we're averaging anywhere from 5 to 7 eggs a day with our current 7 laying hens. And that's really awesome. I mean, we have enough that we can keep a dozen eggs in our refrigerator for us. And then we have enough for, to pass on to neighbors or friends or whoever else is looking to buy them. That's it. That's the update. That's where we are with the garden, with the chickens, with the ducklings. It's our own little homestead farmette right here in our backyard. And we're super excited about it. We can't wait for those things to start coming in and for us to start harvesting and canning and doing all that good stuff. And of course we'll give you updates all along the way. So that's going to do it for today. Thanks so much for watching the vlog. I've been wanting to do a garden update for a couple of days now and just haven't had the chance to get out and do it. And with the garden looking good, I figured it's a good time for us to get out there and share that with you. The ducklings are down in their pen. The chickens are where they are. Everybody seems to be happy. We are looking to, like I said, move some of the chickens out. I'm sorry, not the chickens, the ducks. We have 5 ducklings that we would love to send to another home. So if you have a pond or you would like to have some laying ducks, like I said before, leave a comment below. If you're local, we'll pass them on to you. But there are too many for me to keep here. And I'm just not structured for that many ducklings at this time. 6 is the number I want. That's the number I'm kind of budgeting for feed. I'd love to have 6 laying hens, but I also want to have some fertilized eggs. So I'm keeping 4 hens and the 2 drakes so that I can still get some fertilized eggs. And, we'll probably come back at some point and, try to incubate and hatch a few more ducklings. Just because I love doing that and that's fun. So that's what we're looking to do. A couple things as we sign out. Do us a favor. We have a t-shirt company, a little side hustle that we've started to kind of, earn a little extra money on the side, put away, into savings and, just have a little bit of extra. It's called Just Ducky Tees, and you can find us at justduckytees.com, or you go to Facebook or Instagram and just look for Just Ducky Tees. They are faith-based, inspirational t-shirts that we're doing just to, like I said, earn a little extra money, but really to inspire and encourage folks to share their faith. We have 2 series right now. One's called In a Word, and it's a word like forgiveness or saved or loved, and it's matched with a Bible verse. And the encouragement is that when someone says, "Oh, what's your shirt all about?" you can have the Bible verse right there on hand, and the Bible verses all talk about God's love, His grace, His salvation. So it's a fun way for you to share your faith in kind of a fun, creative way. And then the other series that we have is called More Than Words, and they are words and phrases that are inspired by the things that Jesus said. And so the idea, when he approaches his disciples for the first time, he's like, "Follow me." And so we have a shirt that says "Follow me" with a Bible verse on it. He often speaks, "Come and see." And so we have a shirt that says "Come and see." Worship. We worship in spirit and truth. So that's another T-shirt. But again, they're more than words. It's inspired by the words that Jesus says. And so we've got the first T-shirts of those out. We will probably add more to them in the coming months. But would love for you to go check that out. Like I said, justduckytees.com. We try to keep the prices about what we see other T-shirts being sold for. And each one is uniquely printed. We're not mass producing them. When you order a shirt, your shirt is printed and sent to you. It's a unique, one of a kind. It's not rolling through a conveyor belt. They're done for you. So we would love for you to go and check that out, and let us know what you think. And then lastly, we're kind of on this push. I haven't said a whole lot about it because we haven't been vlogging, but we're on a push to reach 500 subscribers. We'd love to hit 500 subscribers by the end of July. And so if you watch our videos and you're not subscribed, we would love for you to subscribe. You don't have to subscribe. You can keep on watching, but we would love for you to subscribe. And what we're actually doing is when we hit 500, we have a little contest going. When we hit 500, we are going to do a random draw. And out of the 500 subscribers, we are going to give away some Life in the Higham House merch. And I'll put a link to the blog post about it that shows you the merch that we're going to give away. So as soon as we hit 500, we're going to do the contest. We're going to randomly draw a name from our subscribers, and we're going to send them some free merch just to say thank you for subscribing. So if you want a free t-shirt and some other stuff from Life in the Higham House, you want to go and subscribe so you can get those things. So yeah, do that. And as we always say, follow us. Social media, we are at Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. We are getting rid of our TikTok account. I don't like where TikTok is going. I don't feel like it's family friendly, and I don't think it really fits what we're trying to do with our content. And so we are moving our videos from TikTok away from there. And probably in the next couple of months, we will be getting rid of our TikTok account. So if you want to follow us, you're going to want to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And that's where we're posting stuff. And right now, when I haven't been vlogging, I have been taking pictures of our flowers and all sorts of stuff. And I've been sharing those things on our Instagram and on our Facebook. So if you want to see some of the flower garden that Amy has planted and some of the things that are growing, you can go there. I'll do a little video on our flower stuff. Just about everything's starting to bloom right now, so probably in another couple days or another week or so, all of our flowers should be in bloom, and we will run through, we'll do a quick cut flower garden tour, so you can see some of the things that Amy's been growing. So yeah, follow us. Life in the Higham House, Instagram, Facebook. Twitter is the Higham family. It's the only one that's different. Everybody else is just look up Life in the Higham House. And then, of course, don't forget the vlog. Come and see what we're doing over on the vlog, lifeinthehigham.com. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I gotta get showered and get to work, and so I will see you next time right here on the vlog, Life in the Higham House. Later, guys.